Robert Mulder is a Holland-based designer and environmentalist and the founder of circular furniture innovation company Bondasan. He was born in a small town in Holland in 1973. In his early years, he studied business management and graphic design at University in Utrecht. After his career switch in 2010, he specialized himself in the furniture industry and created the brand Bondasan. With a strong focus on environmental awareness, he discovered a way to reintegrate plastic waste into the value chain and to start a new revolution within the traditional furniture industry. Now, Bondasan designs and manufactures comfortable, sustainable furniture made from several waste streams. The furniture stops deforestation, reduces plastic waste and CO2 emission, creates local jobs, and is 100% circular, which means that after the end of life cycle, every piece returns in the manufacturing process. You can find more about Bondasan from the online magazine Designing Ways July 2019 edition. You can read about them from a Virgin article, and you can find out more about them from their Instagram account at Bondasan. Welcome, Robert.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
How are you, Robert?
I'm doing well, and you?
I'm doing so well, and I'm so excited to talk to you, really. We have similar beards until last night. I went crazy with my scissors.
Well, but I guess for yours, from your side, it's from the coronavirus beard, right? For me, it's I had it already before the whole crisis started. Yeah. I just wanted to have something different, and here it is. But it's easy now because you don't go out that much, so you can just leave it the way it is.
Yep. I found myself watching.
I let my hair a little bit grow. You see, it's a little bit of a tail.
That works for you.
Yeah,
would not work for me so well.
I have the same as you, but you just pull it back, so you see less.
Nice.
You see less the landing spot.
Yeah, I actually found myself last night watching a whole bunch of tutorials on how to properly groom your beard, and I was like, you got to get oils and products and brushes and hair dryers.
I did a month ago. And I was like, but how can they do it so straight? And how I was like, what? So I started, but it didn't turn out well. I just leave it like this.
Yeah, I get the curly stuff on the sides, and it was just too much. So yeah. So is it actually 10 o'clock at night where you are?
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock at night. It's still light. It's the summer is coming, so it's still light. I think around 10:30 the sun will go down. You will see it on the background. You will see it slowly go away. And 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I became aware of Bondasan while side gigging at a place called National Geographic Encounter in Times Square.
2 years ago, I think.
Well, so National Geographic opened in October of 2017. And so I came to New York to really begin an acting career, letting go of computer programming, just focusing on my true calling, which is acting. However, if you're going to do that in New York, if you're going to do any art form in New York, you must have one or more what we call survival gigs or side gigs. And it turned out it was a perfect fit because I'm a certified scuba diver. I'm an environmentalist and a conservationist. And this was absolutely perfect for me. I get to command an audience of 30 to 40 people for 45 minutes. So the actor in me is very happy. I get all this attention. And I get to talk about what I like. And every day was a little different, some improv, depending on who was involved in my audience. But one of the things that I included in my tour, because we customize our tour so that it's not just a generic template that we're all following, is I always talked about Bondasan in one of our scenes, as we call them. We have 10 scenes in the encounter.
Yeah.
So in the scene 4, there are 5 Bondasan benches in there, which are these very heavy but incredibly comfortable benches. So like on slow days, if I had 2 people on my tour, I would straight up lay down on one of your benches and just my body for 4 minutes would just go, because it was so comfortable. And we actually have your benches throughout the encounter in different spaces so people don't just have to stand. And because I included Bondasan as part of my tour, semi-frequently people would say, what was that name again? Where can I buy these? And so I would have to forward your information to them. But that's how I got turned on to your company. And this is the most you will have heard me speak during this interview, by the way.
Oh, no, I just keep interrupting me. It doesn't matter because it's fun. And it's funny that you say that they were heavy because they were quite heavy. And, but there was a purpose. First of all, we wanted to put as much as possible on plastic waste inside, of course. It's our goal. What we do with our company is that we try to pick up waste and we put it back in the economy and never enter the environment anymore. Plus, it was supposed to be that no one is shove the benches aside, or if someone sits on it, it breaks really easily. So it had to be high quality, plus a little bit comfortable, of course. And that was our goal. But it's funny that because I never heard where they were standing. I just heard they are somewhere at the event, but probably I was thinking, oh, maybe at the entrance or something, someone's gonna sit up. And I knew that there are some lounge furniture in the area of where they have all the events. There's some lounge furniture there. I don't know if it's still there, but yeah,
yes.
that's funny that you contacted us on that way. That Van Sant. I in English I call myself Bondasan, because if you see some from 2016, there was we were on stage with our furniture by the Ocean Conference, and they were pronouncing the lady, some kind of a minister, I guess. Sorry for not knowing exactly her name, but she was announcing our furniture, and she said, "This is furniture from Bondasan."
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Undersecretary of State Catherine Novelli.
This morning, we'll hear from our partners in the private sector and civil society and government leaders committing to work around the globe to save our ocean. We'll hear about the critical steps that need to be taken to address the perilous effects of climate change on our blue planet. And we're going to hear about innovations to combat plastic and nutrient pollution. And in fact, one of those innovations is here before you today. The furniture on the stage today is from Bondasan and is made entirely from recycled materials, including, I'm told, the material itself is made from plastic from the ocean. So it just shows you what can be done when there's a will to innovate.
So that's cool because it's Dutch, but anyway, it sounds a little bit American and a little bit exotic, and of course Dutch. So yeah, that's cool how you remember that we are in the spot where it's all about, because the ocean encounter, it's about the ocean, it's about virtual world, and it's about how it's looking, how we are looking at it now. Right? It's more plastic pollution than it's fish, and they predict that 2050 there's more plastic than fish in the ocean. So, and that's why I try to do something good out of my life and make this wonderful furniture out of plastic waste.
So you're an artist, I would call you, because you are a designer. Would you call yourself an artist?
Well, when you now ask a question again, and also by email, I mean, I don't see myself as an artist. I also don't even see myself as a real designer. I just, however I am, but I create something, but I'm more like an entrepreneurial designer. My goal was also, I mean, if you go back to that bench again, if you see it from a distance, you don't see it's made from recycled content. That was my purpose. So as a designer, you don't go crazy on all the materials that you have, and you create something really, a design piece or whatever. I decided to make something that is common for everyone, that you can have in your home. Now you talk about the bench, but if you have your normal sofa at home, it's the same feeling. We can change that sofa in your home. We can change exactly how we do, and you don't even notice it. But we make a difference because it stops deforestation, all the things what you were saying in the beginning. And so in that way, I don't see myself as a real artist until, okay, I make some crazy things. It's same as in National Geographic. We made a bar, also totally made out of recycled plastic from the ocean. But yeah, being an artist like that, for me, it's a common thing. It's I do think a little bit more out of the box, and I think every artist has to do that. Think out of the box. But calling myself someone, yeah, maybe, yes, I think so.
Yeah, Robin Williams, actually, one of his quotes is, he thinks that you have to have a little bit of madness to be a good artist. And
and maybe I should call me an artist then, because a lot of people think I'm a little bit mad and crazy, and because when I started all this, I just changed the regular industry into something sustainable. They were say that I was crazy and it's not possible, and it's not. I say, yeah, of course possible. We need to do something, and that is what I believe the perfect solution. But it took me a while to convince a lot of people. It took me a long time. But yeah, it's something what's now really hot, and not only in that you've seen by National Geographic, but also in the rest of the world.
I was going to ask you, for your circular model, how long did it take to get the circular model going, and how many countries are you now in? Because you were talking in one of your interviews about expanding to the UK in manufacturing there. Have you expanded, and are you in North America? Where are you located all now?
We're still in Holland. I did explore. I also lived in the US for 3 years. That was in 2011, 2012, and 2013, I guess. I was already doing the same what I do now. Only that moment was working with US partners, and recycling was not a real done deal. I don't know how it is now in the US, but it's difficult to get the whole system going. But I knew my customers were in the US. So after being there, I traveled around a bit. I ended up in an island called Curacao within the Caribbean. I wanted to do there the same, but that was a little bit difficult also. It's something, again, the mad guy is coming inside a country and they want to change an industry. What the hell are you doing here? Mm-hmm. So being back in Holland now for 3 years, setting up the whole thing again and doing even better what we did before. You innovate the first 2 years that you start again, because you have a product and you want to be more sustainable. You want to use less water, all those kind of things. So it cost us 2 years, and now, now we have our base. We had already nice things like National Geographic and other things in the US, but also in the UK a few things. I was in the UK in a TV show, but there was one problem: is the market ready for sustainability? And that's what was, from my point of view, really important, to make something that looks exactly the same as the regular thing. So if someone needs to pick now, if you have two similar pieces of furniture, and one is a normal piece and the other one is exactly the same, but it's sustainable and circular, which one do we choose? Probably the circular, because now it is going to happen. And that system of circular, I mean, I do it already for a while, but nothing is coming back yet. So you understand? It's not only the story that I'm telling. It's sustainable. Sustainable also means it lasts longer, and it can last longer. It's stronger. But the system of returning, that's now what we are now developing. And Holland is already perfect. It's already working if it's needed. But that's why and probably I'm going to tell you a little bit later about it. My vision is also to have all those little manufacturing hubs all around the world, to not to fly or to ship the furniture all over the world, because then you're not even sustainable, and you're not thinking about the environment. So I want to be close to our customers, but also to with the manufacturing, with local jobs. That I was in my introduction. You create local jobs. That's all a part of the whole system what I'm thinking about. But at circular, I mean, if you go dive deeply in a furniture piece, you can dismantle the whole piece, and you can recycle it again and put it back in our production facility, or you separate and you use it as parts again in our system. So it's no waste. There's no waste. There's no extra amount of energy needed. There's no it's what we believe, and we have proven it. That's just a part of the future.
I think it's very wise, and it's very well needed. I was also going to ask about, I know that a lot of your customer base is higher end because of the cost of doing this now, but do you see this as becoming accessible to all households soon, or is it a longer term?
No. Okay, the reason why also we're not, I mean, if you are a cheap brand, all of the cheap brands are manufacturing is in low income countries. We don't do that. We manufacture in Holland or on the spot where we want to be. And that means you have to pay a little bit more. So,
for sure.
But we already now achieve the mid-range, and that's already a better achievement. If you go really cheap, I mean, I think we need to change our mindset completely in every model. We need to start from zero and then design what we now know, what we didn't know 50 years ago. But it also means the whole financial system needs to be different. I don't know if you saw it in some kind of article, but we also discussing interior as a service. So for you as a private client, you want a piece of furniture from us, we deliver you the piece of furniture. You don't have to pay for it, only when you use it. So there's some kind of a measurement system that measure how many times you sit on your sofa, and you pay for your sofa like that. And at the end of life cycle, it is our property. We are obligated to take it back, but we have also that waste stream in hand. So there is no waste. There is no problems. There's no, I mean, you are using only the product because you want to sit. And if you want another design, we change the design or something. So that whole business model is changing in the world. That whole structure is about to change.
The entrepreneur is seeking £70,000 in return for a 15% share in his business.
Any bits of this not recycled?
The screws and bolts.
Really?
Put it together.
It?
That's it.
Well, it's very timely that we're speaking to you during this worldwide pandemic, when the idea of the global economy is partially responsible for the spread of the pandemic to begin with, and is bringing to light a lot of the problems with manufacturing, with our supply chain, with where things are coming from, and how these interruptions and the pollution that comes with it, and our daily lives and the pollution that comes with it, and the lack of sustainability of even our financial systems are really apparent right now. So I think it's actually very, very timely that
it's good that you mentioned, because it's everything, eh? And if you can imagine that the climate crisis is way worse than coronavirus.
Yes.
And people don't realize, but the coronavirus stopped this planet in 1 month. And we are fighting for climate change because we don't see it. A lot of people don't see it. I mean, we now have the second year in a row that it's really dry in Holland. That's not normal for this time of year. And now people are going to be concerned, because we don't have enough water to spray our flowers. We need to be careful with the water. We never been like that. Now people realize, but can you imagine in about 10 years? But then it's too late to act. So now coronavirus maybe make people realize that we can change, and we need to. We need. I mean, in the US, you have different kind of rules and different kind of solutions, and even no solutions. We have the same in Holland, but we need to act now, and maybe now is even the moment to do that completely sustainable restart. I understand the economy needs to get booming again, but why not in a different way? Because even in sustainability, there are a lot of jobs, even more than the normal regular way. Yeah, people don't realize, People
well, this
always
is the challenge.
think in cabins. They don't step out of that box. Yeah, that is a challenge. But I was already, before coronavirus, I was doing a challenge on convincing people, like, you know what, you don't sit on a different chair. I mean, of course, we are a bit more expensive, even though, like I told you, we can now compete with a lot of other brands. And we need to have better designs, because other designers and whatever, but we are going there. But most important is, we have to go there with everything. I mean, our furniture, all those topics like deforestation and water. If you think about it, one furniture piece reduces 8,000 liter water per piece.
Wow.
Less. That's a lot. That's a lot of water. Count all those furniture pieces in who are now there available. And those things, we need to think about it. We need to think on, okay, how are we going to, I mean, it's really bad, the coronavirus, a lot of people passed away, even in the US. I follow the news every day, what's happening in the world. And, but there's going to be more people dying if we don't do anything about climate change, if we don't do anything about pollution, if we don't do all those kind of things. So, yeah.
Well, I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and we're seeing regression in our political system. We had been making advances towards more sustainability and a provincial government that was really looking forward thinking. And we've really slid back to, it's actually, impossible to understand the over support of the oil and gas industry, which has been what Alberta boomed on. But it's, we've been watching the sinking ship. And, but the challenge is, again, how do we bring this type of manufacturing and sustainability? And that was really the big question, is how can we bring it here? Because it would make sense to stop shipping our recycling overseas to countries where we just don't see it. It's not that it's not there, it's just we don't see it anymore. And no. Turning a blind eye, right, instead of using it.
I was also really surprised when I lived in the US. If I was living alone the first year, and when I went shopping to a supermarket or something, you cannot buy just normal for one person. It's mass production. It's massive. Everything. A normal bag of chips is like if I couldn't see my own TV anymore if I was sitting on the sofa, because it was. And that the whole industry make it cost that the pollution and everything. And now people need to stand up. I think they have a word for that. Generation Green, this is the generation before us. They are now standing up, but they are pointing fingers to us if we do wrong now, if we don't do anything, if we don't change. And that is now, but where to start? Who's going to say it? Is the politicians are going to say that we need to change? I think they need to make the decision. I think they need to be tougher on the whole situation, because realize now, I mean, I was in all kind of groups, and they asked me to fly to the US for only one day a meeting, and we were talking about environmental and the environment. I mean, I'm not flying there. I can do the same as you now. And it's proven now, the whole world is standing still, and it's proven that we can communicate on this way. Normally you see my background, you see the planes maybe in the sky sometimes, but nothing anymore. I mean,
that's amazing.
We can do it, of course. The jobs, you need to think about the jobs and the people who needs to eat, but there are so many other opportunities.
So I don't know, a number of decades probably ago, I felt called to the Netherlands. And the reason is because my evolving set of ideals, I realized were not in conjunction with my own country's set of ideals. So, so I do not identify with the United States, to be honest with you. I am an American. There's nothing I can do about that.
Yep.
It's a part of who I am. It is part of my own cultural outlook.
Yep.
But I don't identify with pretty much most of my countrymen or country people. So I was looking at where should I go? I need to go somewhere where people feel the same way about life. So I started to look well, let's not give up on the US. Let me look at the individual states. Maybe there are Green Party people that are really advancing, and that's more in line with how I view how we should handle politics. And basically I was just like, why do I continue to look in the US? This is a big world. And so when I started to do that, I found the Netherlands and I found New Zealand. Scandinavia. So these are areas that I really revere, and in particular where you live, I believe, and I say this all the time, I said it at National Geographic Encounter, when I met people from your area, you live in the zenith of human potential. As far as this planet is concerned right now, that's reality. Like your focus in that part of the world is on quality of life. Part of this is realizing that we have taken this regressive turn, at least in my country, of the focus being on ego and the young, youthful. Everything is marketed towards a youthful consumer base or a youthful mindset or an egoic mindset. Whereas where you are, I know that you have problems. It's not a euphoric existence there. You have issues. You're human beings.
Yeah.
But if you could describe what it was like to grow up in that culture, and then how did that turn you into someone that said, I need to look at business and design and everything differently?
That was actually the moment. I mean, I grew up here on the same way as everyone else does, and not only focusing on sustainability. I knew that Holland is below sea level. So when the sea is rising, then we are the first country who have a problem. But we are doing preventing. We're preventing stuff. We think about the future. And then I moved to the US, and then I realized I really need to do something because people don't realize. And in the US, with all due respect, and no offending on no one, but they act when always something already happened. And you need to prevent. You don't go, I mean, if there's a fire, everyone is really, really admiring all the first responders. And again, all respect, they do the perfect job, but prevent. The example is the coronavirus. Prevent. And that's what we are doing. And that's how I realized, but only by looking from the other side to Holland, to live in another country, and then look again, yeah, but Holland is not so bad at all. And then I more focused on, I was doing it already, but I didn't tell the story yet. But then I thought the moment is there to tell the story. But only when I came back in Holland, that was difficult to tell the story because they think I'm a little bit crazy, and I had to push myself up again to get the attention, to get the stage. But that was mostly actually because, you know what, I have to see Holland from another point of view again. And then coming back, and then I realized, yeah, we're not so bad. And we do, like, for example, we know that if the sea is rising, we're now taking already measurements. We did, because we had our experience. And with the same with plastic waste. I mean, there's a great Dutch, he was a kid when he had the idea that Bondasan, who does the Pacific garbage patch. And a kid has to tell us how we need to fix it. I mean, he's right, but it's unbelievable that we are now looking at him. Oh, it's so amazing. And again, those multinationals jump on him and they want to have a piece of the pie only for the attention. But at the end, they also pollute us. And they also, but being in Holland, I mean, that's a good thing. The only thing is we got really annoyed by some countries. I won't mention names, but people, open your eyes. Prevent instead of act at the end. I can mention a lot of examples, but on how we look at things from this side of the ocean and say, you know what, why? It can be so easy. And I go back to the story of the big bag of chips that's just about pollution. I mean, I throw half away of the chips because it's too much. I go shopping and I want to buy a package of milk for myself, a gallon of milk. I mean, I gain weight within the first month because it's so much. I don't need so much, but they force you to buy so much. That means you throw away your milk. You throw away, I had a bag of chips and really literally, I sat in front of the TV. I couldn't see my TV anymore, so big. And But that means
Wasteful,
also I don't eat the whole thing, so I'm going to throw it away. And that's a waste. And people don't realize it's only more.
Yeah.
And there's no one who said, you know what? Yeah, there's all those lobbies and with the politicians that we need, the people need more because they need it's only about money. It's not only about money. It's about, I don't want to become that fat because of all the chips. I don't want to throw it away.
Yeah, that's the hard part, right? We don't want to be wasteful, but at the same time,
But you know, I'm also typical Dutch, because when I came in the US, I mean, you get a free refill. I mean, as a Dutch person, we like free, you know, if it's free. So I just finished my glass of cola there, and before I even know it was full again. So, it's free. But in 1 week, I was tired of it. All that food waste and all that stuff. I mean, stop it already. But again, I can give you a lot of examples, nothing to do about all the furniture, but that is how we see it, huh? How we see it. A lot of people are overweighted because, and they cannot help it because there's some kind of addiction in chips and stuff. I do it now in Holland too. But it's all the multinationals, manufacturers, huh, who make it so much. Because if you buy a big bag, you feel bad that it's wasted, so you keep eating.
So, Robert, was this visit to the States what inspired your entrepreneurialism with regard to creating Bondasan, or was that already a concept?
That was already concept. It's only get me more to my attention. The waste, what's there, and there is no control about the whole waste streams. It's mostly on landfills. And also, when I went to the Caribbean, that I just wanted to go to the beach, and I had to push away the plastics to lay down on the beach, and that came from not even the island itself. It just washed with the water, and I was like, yeah, come on, this is not even possible. I mean, I don't have to be an environmentalist for this. I will be stupid not to see it. And then I realized, yeah, you know what, there is a solution. That solution is even more, and I want to push it more, and I want to do it more. And that's about preventing it. Again, you prevent something that, I mean, I prefer not to get it out of the ocean. I prefer to get it from the streets already, or even before, and put it somewhere really well. And again, plastic is not bad. It's recyclable, as long as it's recyclable. People need to be educated to recycle it. So that's prevention. And that helps already a lot, but that's a big challenge. And yeah, I hope we're going to go the right direction, all of us. And that, you know, they want to start the economy again, everywhere around the world because of the coronavirus. That means also people need to buy again, to bring it all up. But let's think, do we need everything like that? Do we need from everything, or were we just happy now at home with the family and sometimes a little bit crazy? But yeah, do we need things? Do we need?
Yeah, has the pandemic and the lockdown, has that affected what you're doing with Bondasan, or not so much?
Well, regarding to projects, yes, it did affect us because yeah, a lot of companies don't do anything anymore. They were locked down, so offices don't have furniture anymore. But then, as an entrepreneur, you need to change your mindset. There's another opportunity, and there's another things to do. But honestly, I think the world just needed this. The planet was in one month. It really literally stopped. No planes were flying. Everything stopped. So there's also for us on to decide as a sustainability company, we're going to go that direction. We're going to have that sustainable restart. And we need to push that forward with this kind of interviews and this kind of talks. And maybe you think I'm a little bit crazy, but I believe this we really need to do.
Yeah, I definitely think you're crazy, which is why you get along with us so well. So.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk for hours. I will keep on talking. You will probably fall asleep with a big bag of chips.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This has been like a real gift for me personally, because of where you live and what you do. And you seem like a great guy too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks
Likewise.
for giving us
I
hope.
mean, oh yeah, there's a lot of hope.